Welcome back. We know there are so many questions, so many concerns, so much healing that needs to happen in our community, as many of us, myself included, are still in shock over the killing of children at Annunciation Church and School last week. Joining us now is Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Thank you. This has been horrible for all of you, for our city, for our state, for our country. As tragic as it is, many of us are praying that it doesn't get any worse, knowing that there's still children and people in the hospital. Do you have any update on those that are still recovering?
There's 7 victims that remain hospitalized as of the last update I had late last night. But again, everyone is expected to survive, and we pray that stays the same.
Yeah. As horrific as this was, notably, it could have been even worse, but for the heroic acts by faculty and teachers, but for the fact that law enforcement was there in a matter of minutes, and they did not hesitate to provide really important rescue efforts, emergency care, reuniting families. This was one of the most horrific experiences, obviously, we've ever seen in our city. And at the same time, there are a lot of heroes, including in our community, that have rallied together to make sure that we are wrapping our arms around these families experiencing so much grief. Yeah,
and to hear you say that those remaining are expected to survive, I mean, that is so wonderful, wonderful to hear. What can you tell us as far as where the investigation is at? We know that they're, seeing search warrants and details of a previous breakup and multiple residents to look through. Where are you at with that at this point?
So we're going to follow the investigation, all of the pieces of evidence to its logical conclusion. There have been electronic devices that have been recovered, a computer and storage devices. So we're going to ensure that there's nothing related to the investigation that's contained in any of those. And there's still interviews that need to be completed, including interviews with victims. So it will take some time. But I am confident that the investigation will be done completely and in a manner with dignity that is needed for this case.
I know going into this week, Minneapolis Public Schools, many schools start classes for the first time on Tuesday, and I know we're going to see extra patrols, both from the state that Governor Walz has called in, but also Minneapolis law enforcement. I'm curious what that will look like, because A, there's so many schools, but also kids, some know a lot about what has happened, some are young and don't know anything. So what will we see? Will we see a car parked outside of the parking lot? Will we see officers smiling and high-fiving kids? What will it look like?
Well, broadly speaking, and this is a message to all of the parents, please be ensured that we are doing everything possible with like 20 different entities to make sure that their child will be safe when you send them to school. We will have a substantially increased presence of law enforcement officers, and they will see it and they will feel it. And so you can feel comfortable sending your kid to school knowing that we will do everything possible to help.
As far as the protocol, what are you telling the officers of how they will interact, and again, what will it look like?
The officers are obviously well aware of the sensitivities surrounding this incident. Officers will be present. They will attempt to be as visible as possible, and we're looking to spread that as widely as we possibly can. So there's obviously public schools and private schools, charter schools in the city. We're going to do the best we can to ensure that there is there is an increased patrol present at every school in the city.
I know the struggle with all of this, we may never be able to make sense of it, but I'm curious how your officers are doing. I mean, not only are they dealing with this tragedy, but this was not the only shooting this week in the city, but I'm just curious how they are doing on the front lines.
There's a number of officers that this has been extraordinarily difficult. It's one thing to experience the horrific nature of community violence that unfortunately is far too typical, including the day before we had some adults that had some very, very serious injuries from a rifle round at a different shooting. But it's been horrific to deal with these children. And it is the police officers who ran into that building and tried to make sense of what was going on. It was the cops who are mothers and fathers who then saw all these kids, many of whom had blood on them because they were laying on other kids, and trying to make sense of who was injured, how many, how best to treat them. And there's just some really, really incredible stories about what has happened. And I'm just thankful because when I got there, about 20 minutes after the first officer, it definitely seemed like there was going to be a much higher loss of life. So, you know, it's only by the grace of God that this wasn't even far worse, because it was just so horrific.
We know all of us, everyone included, has the healing to do. So thank you, and wish you the best on the healing, but also, you know, whatever answers you can get for us with all of this. So
thank you.
Mayor Frey, Chief O'Hara, thank you.
Thank you.